got to start with a little bit of my historical nerdiness, but these things are just amazing. They're just so much fun to go to. Um, I mean, every time and I look at that, I just go, I want to be there. But it can be a little overwhelming looking, but when you're actually in the streets of it, in the actual market, it's not like a like crazy overwhelming carnival. It just feels so darn cozy. These cultures in this area tend to have a word for coziness, which just goes above and beyond our sense of cozy, to just mean this whole winter philosophy of warm drinks and friendship and laughter and comfortable beanies, everything. So the Christmas markets are great for it. But as we go through and just kind of understand what are they? Is it just a farmer's market or is it something else? They do have ancient origins, or pretty old origins. It's not ancient, but pretty old origins. Back in the day, the Middle Ages, you had these markets where apparently people were all sorts of unpredictable sizes and bought lots of pointy shoes. These markets were generally held for a day here and there, maybe two. If you had your city rights from the king, you could do them. They were around because you don't have stores the way we think of now. That's just not a thing. So these markets, you have some merchants who are always selling their stuff. Sometimes it's your neighbors who have a couple of baskets of extra onions or something that they have. But out of these, the one that was most important was the last one before winter, because that's where you get all your non-perishables. So this one, AI is real enthusiastic. To get a sense of these markets, I don't think they had heaps of stuff like this. Those were leaner times. You have some scraggly carrots, that type of thing. So that winter market is really important chance to get everything. And at that one, because it's right before winter, and you have to have a midwinter festival if you're gonna survive the winter, they start selling little presents, little things for the kids, and the people who sold those would be the St. Nicholas stalls, and that is pretty popular, pretty fun. So they start kind of growing. Not to this level yet. Don't get ahead of ourselves. They start growing into December markets. The thing is, during those years, you become, everything is real local. Everything was starting to get associated with just an individual saint. And the church after the Reformation, it's all tied in with politics and history. They want one dominant thing, so they make them Christmas markets. So the Christmas market really emerges in the High Middle Ages, and especially in the Holy Roman Empire era, basically modern Germany. It's not Germany yet for another few centuries, but it's basically modern Germany. So you have all these traditions. Some of them will welcome the Christ child, the Christkind, on opening night, which used to be a boy because Jesus. Now it's usually a very angelic, like, young girl. Is just kind of the patron saint of things. It spreads throughout the Holy Roman Empire in the Middle Ages, a little bit into Italy in the 1700s, a little bit, but it's still pretty small. Like Naples had a nativity scene, but they didn't have a market until much later. So most of the growth of them is in the 80s when it really starts catching on. And then the 90s, it just blooms like crazy. And then in the 2000s, it just goes wild. It's England, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Finland, and Sweden. Romania has a great one in Sibiu. They grow beyond the original thing into rather impressive spectacles. So they'll have like Ferris wheels and merry-go-rounds and sometimes street performers, and they're just an awful lot of fun. So in terms of going to see them, you got to pick which one to go to, because they have thousands of them. And a lot of them shut down during COVID, but are back now, and they're blazing. They're making up for lost time. So for this one, I had to pick a few places to go. So we get 4 stops, and I wanted to pick 4 really important European cities in 4 different countries. So we'll start in Brussels. This one in Brussels here. We'll start there. It's got the Winter Wonders Market. It's also really handy just because it's got a great international airport to fly into. And then the general scheme of the tour is, during the day, let's go see something, because the markets are wonderful. But if you go all the way to Europe and only see one thing, it's kind of a missed opportunity. So during the day, you get a chance to see different stuff. And then there's always time for the markets in the evening when they're kind of the most fun. So during the day, you can see stuff. So for example, in Brussels, the Atomium here, which is one of these things that was built for the World's Fair. They thought it was going to be temporary. Now it's permanent. You go in there, you take escalators in the different bars between the electron nodes and just get this great view of Brussels. You can go out to Auto World, out there on the left, see an amazing array of cars and Formula One, modern ones, all the oldest ones. And then if you're a Europe nerd like me, the Parliamentarium, because that's where a lot of the EU happens, is the one on the right there. There's just a lot of stuff to see in Brussels. And then in the evening, we'll go to the market, and it's a good one because every market has its own kind of specialties and its own commonalities. And Belgium is, it's the land of chocolate and beer and waffles, but they also have on the right, that's this one, it's called a cugnol or cugnot. It's this sweetbread, and it's supposed to be shaped like a swaddled baby Jesus, and it'll have sometimes sugar on top or raisins or chocolate chips. It's just one of the cases where you can get the kind of regional flavor, regional specialty, and encounter this European model. So we'll leave there. When we leave there, we'll cross into Germany on the way down, just because there's an opportunity there. If you've taken some of the tours, and if you've met Big John, I was talking to him about Christmas markets, and his favorite is Aachen. So we'll go to Aachen on the way down through there, because it's kind of a bit of an undiscovered one. These main cities are pretty popular, but I think it's important to get out and see some of the kind of hidden off the beaten path ones too. It's a lot of what we do at Guided By, and it's a great opportunity. So we'll go to Aachen and see theirs during the day, just as a stop on the way. But there too, they got their own thing. So you've had gingerbread, probably you've had speculoos. These ones, this is Aachener Printen, they're called. They have their own type of gingerbread that they make. So we'll stop off there, check that on the way. And then I can't do a tour in anywhere near to this area now without going to really one of my favorite just secrets hidden right in the center of Western Europe. Luxembourg City is just fantastic. If you watched my Luxembourg presentation, I talked about that monument that's right in the middle. That's the Gale Fra. She's a independence, victims of war, yada. She's got her own thing. But the market, one of the markets is there. And it's just an amazing place to be. But to give you a sense of how amazing it is, that right there is what you're seeing on the left up top. Because Luxembourg is built around this river valley. So you get to be on a market, go on the Ferris wheel up there, look out over that river valley, and then go for a walk in the old town right there. It's just an amazing place to be. Now, part of what I love about Luxembourg is there's a lot to see there too. For on the free day, after you're stocked up on all the goodness in the market, you can go places. There's Liège is a really great town that you can reach really easily because all public transport is free in Luxembourg. They just made all of it free, so anyone can go. So, or you can go to Beaufort. There's a ruined castle there. That's the one I'll probably go to if anybody wants to come with me that day. We'll go out there, and it's free to get there. How amazing is that? Or on the right, there's one of these American cemeteries, American military cemeteries in Luxembourg. And that one is where General George Patton is buried. He wanted to be buried there. So when he died, they brought him back here and buried him with his men. You have photos of Eisenhower visiting him. It's one of the opportunities there as you go through. If you're a World War II kind of buff and you're enjoying that, they were really close to Bastogne in the Battle of the Bulge. If you sign up for it, and you want to do that, let me know. I'll connect you with a tour. You can go out and see that too. It takes all day and is not always super cheap. So I didn't make it as the standard activity, but it's an option. And this is where I really like this philosophy of a combination of group activities. You can see cool stuff with me, or go off on your own and tailor it to your own experience. But that's Luxembourg. We'll have a full day there. Then as we go down into France, I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to check out this little piece of history. That bunker right there, kind of forgotten by history, is part of the Maginot Line, the big fortification that France built against German aggression in case there was ever going to be a World War II, a second one. And it's still there. So we'll stop off there. You go down into the thing and see all the preparations for a war that happened, but not the way they thought. It's just a cool opportunity to get out there and see a less commonly seen piece of European history that we've heard about, but don't usually get to see. So we'll stop there on the way down. Into France, we'll go to Strasbourg, beautiful Strasbourg. Strasbourg it's a great market. I mean, it's France, right? The French are pretty good at food. I mean, don't tell them I said that, but they're pretty good at food. And throwing a party. So we'll switch languages. We'll get down into Alsace and kind of see their take on the market. And they, of course, they have their own specialties too. They have these tarte flambées. It's kind of like a grilled pizza thing they got going there. So it's savory. Don't worry, it's not all sugar, but of course they got sugar too. They got these ones, these bredela, are these cookies, these Alsatian cookies on the left there, and on the right they do mulled wine, which is a big part of these Christmas markets. But they'll do it with white wine. It's the only place I've ever seen white mulled wine. It's pretty tasty. So when you're down there, you can, get some mulled wine in the shadow of Notre Dame de Strasbourg. It's just an incredible place to be in, one of these epic European cities, celebrating the festival in just a really unique and interesting way. From there, we're really close to Germany. So on the day trip there, during our full day in Strasbourg, you can stay in Strasbourg. There's lots to do and see there, Lordy knows. Or you can take a day trip out to Baden-Baden and go in the thermal springs. That one, fair warning. If you want to do it, I'll cover the entry price to the spa. But it's European. It's Europe, baby. So it means the spas are generally communal, co-ed, and ain't nobody wearing clothes. So you can come to that one if you want. We have them in the Netherlands too. They're terribly relaxing, and they're not too uncomfortable after the first 5 minutes. Or you can obviously get a private one too. It's one of the opportunities to tailor the experience to your own comfort levels, or how European you want to get. But we'll have a chance to go out to Baden-Baden and then come back to Strasbourg for the market in the evening and enjoy the Joyeux Noël, practice our French for a little bit. Then from there, we're going to head to Germany, because I've stopped off in Germany on the way, because Germany is really kind of the core of this Christmas market tradition. They're incredible things to do, and it's time to just go and see them. But on the way there, I can't resist the stop. We'll stop in Heidelberg, beautiful Heidelberg, where you can go over to the famous castle. You can see it kind of above the bridge in the distance there. We'll have time to tour the castle in Heidelberg. You're in Germany. Why not see more? See those markets, enjoy them, eat far more wurst than you'd plan to, and roasted almonds and everything. But let's go check out that castle. And then we'll go to Würzburg. If you've never been to Würzburg, most people haven't. If you've driven by it, if you've taken a lot of the kind of Europe tours or traveled around Europe, you've driven by it near Frankfurt and look at that fortress palace. Who is that? What is that thing on the hill? That's the Marienburg Palace. We'll go up there and check that out, because you're here. See some cool things. There's also the residence. They have an amazing Baroque palace in Würzburg too. But Würzburg is just this great town. It's got all that kind of very European, German feeling atmosphere. And it's just a great place, an amazing market, and just a beautiful place there. And they have all their own special things too. And one of the German things I got to talk about is these little guys. I don't speak German, but Zwetschgenmannle. They're these little figures made of prunes and apricots and walnuts, and they make them as these little figures. You could eat them. Generally, they don't. The tradition on this, they think, dates back to Croatian soldiers during the 30 Years' War in the 1600s. They were there, and they made these things just for fun, and now you see them all over. And they're a really unique collectible. I don't know about you, but I've never seen those in my local strip mall. Like, it's just one of these things, and they have all different varieties of them. You can get custom made ones. They frequently are chimney sweeps with little ladders. It's just indicative of one of the many things that they have that are just really, really interesting in these markets. It's just a ton of fun. You walk around, pick up some prune people, take home prune people. They're a perfect kind of Zen offering. They last for a while, but not forever. So you get to enjoy them and impress all your family and friends with your weird German souvenir. And then the last one I got to mention is the mulled wine. You don't have to drink alcohol with these things. There's lots of non-alcoholic cider and hot chocolate to die for, Lordy me. But the mulled wine is just one of these cool things. We have records of people talking about mulled wine going back to ancient Rome, like 2nd century BC. They're talking about this. So you take a good strong red wine, put in your mulling spices, your cinnamon, cloves, mace, cardamom. You put in whatever you want in there. Star anise, a sweetener, either sugar, honey, something like that. And it'll have regional variations too. And you just have some of that. Increasingly, as cocktails catch on in Europe, you're getting more varieties where they'll put a shot of some spirit in there too. And it's just an amazing thing to do. Now, this one, I do have one kind of pro tip for you. Because when you go to these markets, it's cold. So either bring gloves or buy a pair of souvenir gloves there. And you get that mug of something hot, and it's steaming, and you can smell it, and it fills your nose and your belly with warmth. But it gets cold. So bring a travel mug to put that in to stay warm, but make sure you get them, because each of these markets is one of just the things I love about them is they all are participating in a tradition together, but they want their own personal flavor. So a lot of the markets, not all of them, but most of them will frequently do their own commemorative mug. They'll do a special mug for that particular market. And if you order your mulled wine or whatever you get in one of those, it's great. Now it makes a great souvenir, and they know people are going to take them home. So they have a system. You pay a little deposit up front. It's €2 to €5 usually, something like that. And the idea is you bring it back, you get your deposit back, but they know you're going to want it. So you just keep it, and you just pay what, €2 to €5 for a great little souvenir. You also can drink your drink and then go back and switch it for a clean one to take it home. But I'm looking at moving in a couple months to a new place, and I just love the idea of filling my cupboard with a selection of all these individual little mugs from all these little Christmas markets we're going to go to. It just seems like a great way to start the holidays, to check them out, and to fill a house with memories. The prune people won't last forever, but the mugs just might. So these markets here are a great way to celebrate a shared tradition with Europe, a uniquely European thing, a holiday, travel. It's just a little bit of everything during a time when getting abroad and having an adventure, it might suit you just fine. I know I'm looking forward to it like crazy. So Reinhard mentioned the official debut is next year, is 2025. But if a few of you are maniacs like me, and if there's enough interest, if you want to go this year, it'll be tough, but I can try to get it running. So let us know. Well, I think we'll share the link with you if you want to try to sign up for that one. We'll be in touch and try to get that going this year as an extra bonus. Otherwise, we'll be there next year. Now, these markets are amazing. The whole thing can be a lot. So the tours are already sold. It's already a little more than half full as of now, and I'm officially kind of presenting it now. So if you're interested in coming, let us know, because we got some extra spots, and it's going to just be a ton of fun. We'll do it every year. I'm coming back for it. Don't worry.